my name is Andrew and welcome to Prison Architect. This game, if you guys have never played it before, is pretty fun. I will admit. This is a very interesting game. I haven't played this before on Steam, but I have been playing it on my own for a good long while. And if you want to get this game for yourself, you can take a look down in the description below where you can go and get the game through our humble store link. And what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be starting up a new prison inside of Prison Architect. Most prisons typically have a specific way of actually setting it up, but I'm going to be showing you guys a slightly different way, um, just to go ahead and give you guys a bit of a perspective. Anyway, let's go and get into the game. We're going to create a new prison, and you get the option to select your prisoner gender and select the type of warden you would like to have. I am going to go and stick with a male prison. You can do male or female, does not matter which one. It just depends on how the actual prisoners will act. And then you can go ahead and select the different types of wardens. Am going to go ahead and choose the pacifier. The pacifier has an unusual talent for being able to calm even the most violent individuals. Even being in the same room as him is enough to make people docile and compliant. My bad. And his overall ability is that he reduces the overall temperature of your prison. So typically, the prison is set to a normal temperature, like room temperature, around like 70 to 80 degrees. He lowers it down to the point where people are a lot calmer in the cool temperatures, so kind of just makes it a bit more sense. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly get this all set up here, and I'll be right so back. I got them all set up now. I am gonna be keeping Fog of War turned on. I'm gonna be having forests generated, and I'm also gonna be having gangs turned off. I'm gonna have failure conditions turned off, mostly because I want to go and be able to show you guys the game in itself, and if that involves me having to go beyond the point of being susceptible to failure conditions, I don't want to have you guys think that the prison's going to be over right then and there. I am going to work around it the best I can. This is something that I forgot to add in. We are going to have staff needs enabled. I do have a couple mutators enabled as well. If you don't know what these mutators are, these are extra effects that are added in as a secondary filter pretty much, just to go ahead and spice up the game a bit and give it a bit more, I'd say, dimension to the game. So the ones that we have enabled are no reputation revealed. So that means when a prisoner comes into the actual prison, we will not know anything about it. We don't get anything on their reports. We don't know nothing until we actually have them situated and we learn about them. We won't have any necessary notes about reputation. Another one that we have enabled is extra reputations. These are extra reputation markers that can be added to your prisoners, but as the reason to why we have no reputation revealed is so that way we can find out if there are anything unique about these prisoners that we can go and utilize, such as in, like, are these prisoners going to be very hard working to try and get out of jail, meaning that they will possibly dig more tunnels, possibly work harder inside of the actual worker rooms, or anything else. This can be a multitude of factors, and it can range from pretty much anything. Then we are also going to have wild growth on. This is one that is debatable amongst many different people, but wild growth typically just increases the growth rate of trees on the map. So that means instead of just one small cluster of trees, within about like a day, you're going to have like a large forest that's going to be spanning across the entire map. That's how effective it is. So we are going to go and do that, and let's go and get into the game. So I'm starting this prison off as a small size, mostly because I don't think we're going to go big to start off with. If we by chance get this prison to go any farther than just this one series, the next series will go up to the next size level. Typically, you want to try and compact your prison as much as you possibly can, so I'm going to try and stick with that a bit. So here is the general UI and what you'll be seeing inside of the game itself. You have these different tools down here in the bottom right, or bottom left, my bad. You have different tools down here that is meant for like security and for other different services that you're going to need. You're also going to have this reports tool. This is going to be one that you're going to use a lot. This will allow you to take a look at prisoner intake, your grants, and everything else few and in between. So I'm going to quickly take a look at my reports tool. It also lets you take a look at your staff and your prisoners. We don't have any prisoners right now because it will not allow us to take prisoners on the first day. But what we will guard a kitchen, a canteen, and you need to hire 2 guards and 2 cooks. That's a pretty simple grant right there. It gives you 10K up front, and then it gives you an additional 20K. Um, it gives you 20K up front and then an additional 10K. In larger maps, the increment of how much it gives you goes up by 10K. So medium-sized map, instead of giving, and we're just going to have it go all the way to the very edge. Perfect. Now we're not going to build this up as a perimeter wall for now, but what I am going to do is I'm going to quickly just measure this out real quick here. This is 78, so I think that's like what, 39? 39 is about right there, so I need to, okay, yeah, I remember the marker now. It's just at the top of where deliveries are. I will say though that the sensitivity of the actual game is very high, so you want to go and keep that in mind when you are playing this. So that is the perimeter wall right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put in like a what, like a something like a 5x5 right here. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Might do something like that over here, might not, who knows? But we are gonna go and do that. So let's go and get this going. Tidy that up a bit. I'm gonna get a perimeter wall going right here. That's gonna go for about 10 units or 10 meters because that's the measurement used inside of this game. And another 5x5 tower or building right here. What we will then will do is have a door right here that will go ahead and have a jail door right there. This will be the main entrance to our actual prison. So we're getting a general layout started here first, and we want to get just the basic detention center here started. The basic detention center is going to be where everyone is going to be processed through and where your staff is mostly going to be. So staff as in like your warden, your accountant, your security chief, and a lot of other people are going to be coming in and out of this basic detention center. You're also going to be having a holding cell and a small yard. What I typically like to do is make a holding cell and have the yard back up on that holding cell. So that means that holding cell is dedicated with that yard right there. So we're going to go and get this set up here. What I am going to go and do is get a spot set up for reception. Reception is, in my opinion, a very crucial point in your actual game, because what it is that it allows your inmates to go ahead and be processed at the reception area instead of being processed at a jail cell or inside of the holding cell. This just makes things flow a lot more fluently and a lot more efficiently as well. So we want to have the reception right over here, directly front and center, because when a prisoner is going to be entering into the prison, they're going to be, of course, escorted in by an actual security guard, and we don't really want them going anywhere else. So as soon as the prisoner guard, or the guard himself, takes him through this jail door, he's going to immediately come into reception. So let's go ahead and get a couple walls created right here. That should be okay. And then I'm gonna get not that, I want the actual objects tool, my bad. I want to get a desk right here. So the objects tool is going to be one that you're going to use generically. Anything that you place from the objects menu will be fulfilling up that spot. Anything that you place from the walls in foundations menu is going to be filling up the walls plans. So you want to keep that in mind when you are creating your builds. Then we also need to have some spaces for some tables. Tables are 4 in length, 1 in width, so we only need to do something like this. And then I'm going to get another door right here. This other door is going to back up onto a hallway right here of sorts. And to start off with, the hallway is just going to immediately go off to the north. So the north right here is going to take it into a kind of like an area for a holding cell. So what we want to do is we want to have a door to the holding cell right here. In fact, I might not want to do that because I have a different idea. We want to go ahead and bring you down like that, and I think that we could actually right there should be fine, because what I'm thinking that I'm gonna do is next to the holding cell I'm gonna have most likely one of 2 staff members offices right here, um, and that staff member is either gonna be the chief or the psychologist. Now I say one of the two because you can go in either way. You can either go in the medical department or you can go in the security department. Typically people will go for the security department because it does make your like prison a lot safer. No brainer, right? But I think I might go for the psychologist, because the psychologist will actually tell you what the needs of those um, inmates are gonna be. So let's go ahead and actually get a jail door in right here. And then let's go ahead and actually build up the rest of this autosave. And then let's see, right here, So this area right here will most likely be a shower. Showers have to be in a separate room. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have just a couple right here and a doorway right there. In fact, I get a staff door right there just to make things a bit better. Um, I'm not gonna worry about planning out the office space yet. That will be in due time. Now, for the holding cell, you need to have different types of beds, different. Uh, you need to have benches. You need to also have toilets within the holding cell. Yes, the toilets need to be actually within the cell, not in like a dedicated area. It's a prison. It's not meant to show them any remorse or any privacy, but it is pretty decent to go ahead and sit there and say, "Yeah, you guys got the good life." What I will do though is put another door on this side because this will back up onto our yard space over here. The yard space over here is strictly going to be for people inside the holding cell, and that's going to make things a bit interesting. So then let's go ahead and get a bench right here. We'll get two toilets right here, and then let's see. I think what we can do then is have one, two, maybe three. That doesn't really work. Let's see here though. Yeah, let's try something else. Let's try one, two, one. That doesn't really work. So I can either do 6 sets right there. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, or 7. I think I'll go with the 7 one just because that's a bit more. In fact, what I could do, what I'm gonna do actually, is do it in a different way. What I mean is have these rows right here. And let's just go and take this back by 5. And then we should just be able to, that's 5 wide right there. Ooh, yeah, that's an uneven number. I don't really like that. Um, hmm. Well, I guess what I could do is I can push you back to there, push you down to here. Let's go and quickly just go and redo this segment right here. And let's bring you straight up to this way. And let's do something along this lines. So what I'm going to do with this holding cell right here is I'm going to have a couple bunk beds inside, and that's going to make it so that way our capacity is pretty much doubled what a normal holding cell is, because a normal holding cell uses just standard beds, and frankly I don't really like using standard beds because it doesn't create a good occupancy level. And when I mean occupancy level, I mean like people that can actually be inside of that room. We'll most likely use standard beds for regular cell blocks, just not for like a holding cell. One thing I will do though is put another door right here. This door will kind of lead out into kind of like a courtyard area almost. And then over here is of course our perimeter or our yard area. So that will be right over here. And I think that should be good. You guys can see we're taking up a decent chunk of the land so far. And we will be using that to our advantage here pretty shortly. Now, this area is for the yard. Next up, we want to get pretty much the administration rooms taken care of. And I think I want to have the administration rooms kind of like on this side of the reception area. Reception I'm going to be using a lot as a good like waypoint, because that means you guys will be able to figure it out a much easier what I'm trying to focus on. And let's see, can I actually split you guys up evenly? No, I cannot. Darn it. Maybe. And if you guys want to know how I'm able to delete that, just go and hold down the right click button, and that will allow you to get rid of planned blocks or planned units. Let's see here. Can do something like that. Hmm. Maybe. Maybe. We can possibly go like right here. Um, like that's not a bad idea. That's definitely not a bad idea. What if though I was just able to use, no, that's not gonna work either. Because I want this wall right here to be kept intact because eventually I will want to expand down that way. But for right now, that's gonna be something else. What about if I were to go ahead and just have the offices come back up onto this wall right here? Then we go and have this wall like that. Um, would that be okay though? I could go and have that be right there, but no, that wouldn't really work too well with the layout. Um, we can actually expand that to right there. We'll just have to do the same thing with that, I guess. That doesn't really match my consistency I'm trying to go for, but I think I'll make that work. Um, so there's that. And let's go and get another office right there. So we got an office for either psychologist or the security chief. And then we need an office for the warden, a office for whichever one is not going to be over at the holding cell. Most likely it's going to be the psychologist, or, well, the psychologist would be most likely on this side because it needs to have access to a actual hallway so that we can allow inmates to go into the psychologist's office. Um, and let's see here. Maybe over here can be kind of like our utility room because we do need to actually get that set up. So the utility room contains pretty much three basic essentials. We're only going to start off with two of them for the time being. The first one is our actual power relay station, and then the second one is our water substation. In fact, I think it's right here, water pump station and power station. Both of those we are given one free automatically at the start of the actual build process, but we gotta also figure out, like, do we want to make sure that this is an expandable room? I'm just right now getting it set up for the basic. And then the other utility that I'm concerned about, which I don't see it here anymore. They might have actually got rid of it since the last time I did use that. Because I remember back a couple updates ago, they had what was called the boiler. The boiler was something that you were able to have, and it was able to provide hot water. Now, I'm not too sure if that is still something that they're working on or they just decided to get rid of, but yeah, I guess we don't need to worry about that then. Let's go ahead and close that off then. And what we can do is put the door right there. That will allow us to get access to the power station and water pumping station. It's okay for both of them to be in the same room. They're both going to be connected to one another no matter what, so it doesn't matter. Then right over here, I think right here could be our storage room, because that could actually work pretty nicely for us. Um, Most likely, we do need to have that right there because this space right here is actually going to be a grass patch area that we will have something in there most likely. Most likely I can actually get rid of part of that, and then let's go ahead and put in you, get in a staff door right there, and that will be where that goes. Staff doors are just going to go on either side, forcing it so that way only staff can enter into that area. Now this room right here, I don't know what I'm going to make this room. I honestly do not know. Um, this room, could possibly just be an extension of the storage room. Possibly. Um, or it could be something else, in all honesty. I don't really know. I'll have to come back to that. I'll have to come back to that. Um, Now we also need a staff room. A staff room is something that we're going to need for our staff in general, just to go and adhere to their needs as well. I'm going to have it be a 6x9 area over here. So right here, 6x9. That's going to be our staff room area. I'm going to have a couple different like couches, and then we are going to have a actual TV area right there and a door right there. Drinks machine and radio right there. Maybe reverse that, but oh well. And then a wall coming along here, because this wall is gonna have a few things inside of it, but I'll leave that empty for now because I'm not too sure if I want to have it there or something somewhere else. Now, if I'm catching off things correctly, the only thing we got left to do is a kitchen and a canteen. So kitchen and canteen kind of work pretty nicely together because pretty much a kitchen is going to feed people that go into the canteen. Pretty self-explanatory, right? I'm going to go and get the canteen set up over on this side. If I go ahead and bring you down like this. So canteen contains a whole bunch of different tables because this is within the detention center, and most likely it's going to be our only canteen by the looks of it. We may have another one as well. I might just do it so that way it's two canteens backing up onto one kitchen, but that will make things a bit tricky. Don't know yet. But I think on that note, I'm gonna go and focus on that in the next episode, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys by chance like this episode and you guys are interested in this series and you want me to go and do this a bit more frequently, you guys can go and leave a like and subscribe down below. And I will see you guys for the next episode. Ciao for now.